What is going on, guys? RonMan coming back at you, and today I'm going to talk about 5 video games that I could not stop playing. Also, if you're new here and you like my content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date with RonMan Gaming. So I got tagged by the Retro Rivals in their video about 5 multiplayer games that they could not stop playing. They gave me a pretty sweet shout out, so thank you guys very much for that. And then they tagged me in their video, so this is my response to their video. Although, because I don't play a whole lot of multiplayer games, this is just going to be 5 games that I just couldn't stop playing. As a lot of you may know, I'm primarily a retro gamer, and this is a retro gaming channel. Although in this video, I'm going to focus on more modern type games. The reason is that modern games tend to be bigger, and if a game is bigger, you tend to play it longer, and if you play it longer, that tends to lead to not being able to stop playing it. So with that out of the way, let's get to my list. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Diablo II. Diablo II came out, I can't exactly remember when it came out, but it was roughly 20 years ago, maybe even 21 years ago, and I just couldn't put this game down. I played it all the time. I'd go to high school, come home, and I would just play it. I'd play it all evening, as much as I could. I played all different classes and different play styles, and I couldn't put this game down. One big hook was that this game was indeed multiplayer, so it was fun to play with strangers. Most people I played with I didn't know, but it was just kind of neat to be able to chat with these random people and ask them weird questions, and they give you weird answers, and not actually weird stuff, just like, hey, what's your favorite pop or something like that. I don't know, but it was lots of fun. I couldn't get enough of Diablo 2. It's funny though, because the internet wasn't quite as reliable back then as it is today, so it would be such a piss off if you'd come home from school and you're just looking forward to playing Diablo and the internet just won't work for some reason or another. I remember when I first got Diablo 2, I had these discs. Some kid gave them to me in school, and I got home and I tried to install it on my computer. Now, again, this was like 21 years ago, and my computer at the time, I bought a computer off my aunt, and the computer I bought off her was already pretty old. So I tried to install Diablo, and the hard drive wasn't big enough, and I just don't think the computer was powerful enough. I remember the hard drive on this computer was 800 megabytes. Isn't that crazy? My whole computer had only 800 megabytes. So I remember I was like trying to like delete stuff to make room for Diablo 2, and I accidentally deleted Windows and so I couldn't even use my computer. As soon as I deleted Windows, my computer wouldn't work. And I had a buddy who had a dad who knew how to like fix computers, so he came and installed Windows 98 on my computer. Which took up even more room than Windows 95, which is what I had, but yeah, I learned a lesson there, but that's how much I love Diablo 2. I even deleted Windows off my computer to play it, even though I didn't get to play it. But my next computer, non-stop Diablo 2. It was every day from school. Every day when I'd get home from school, I'd pop in Diablo 2. So Diablo 2 is one game that I could not stop playing. The footage in this video, of course, is from the remaster, which I'm actually playing on Switch. So this is the remastered footage. Alright, moving on to the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This game came out, I got it originally on the Xbox 360, which was a console that I had just purchased, and I was in first year college, and I remember going to school, and for the whole day, every day, for months, I would be in class thinking about Oblivion, just coming home and playing Oblivion. I actually had a buddy, and we're still kind of friends now. We even trained in jiu-jitsu a couple years ago together. But I met him back in college, and he and I would sit beside each other in class, and he was playing Oblivion as well. So we would like just chat about Oblivion like throughout the whole class, and we still had pretty good grades, which is funny because we weren't focused on the schoolwork. We were just talking about Oblivion, and he would tell me like about a cave that he found and something cool that he found in a cave or whatever like that. We would just like talk about our experiences, and then we'd go home that night and try to find the thing that we were talking about, and it was just so much fun, and I just couldn't stop playing it. I loved the game world. I liked the music. The mechanics were fun. It was a really engrossing RPG, and I couldn't put it down. And moving on to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, I loved Breath of the Wild, and I really do think that that is the shakeup that Zelda needed. Now, I'm a big Zelda fan, but I'm also not a Zelda fan, if that makes sense. Like, I love the NES Zelda games, I love A Link to the Past, the 64 Zelda games are pretty good, and same with the Game Boy Color games, but after that, starting with Wind Waker, I don't really love Zelda anymore. Like, I thought Wind Waker was okay, I did not like Twilight Princess at all. Skyward Sword, I actually liked it more than Twilight Princess, but it's still, I didn't think it was great, and it just kind of felt like each game was trying to be like Ocarina, but also trying to be a little different, you know. And then Breath of the Wild comes out, and to me it was the shakeup that the series needed, and I couldn't stop playing it. I've put several hundred hours into Breath of the Wild. I'm actually playing it now, and I'm on my third playthrough. I was at work just a couple months ago, and I had recommended Breath of the Wild to a friend of mine, a coworker, and so he picked it up, and now he's hooked on it, and him talking about it got me wanting to pick it back up and start playing again. So yeah, Breath of the Wild was a fantastic game. It was very big. The first time I played it, I wondered if it would be a game that I would return to because it's just so big. You know, a lot of them open world games, they tend to be a one and done, at least for me, but that's not the case with Breath of the Wild. It's fun, it's a good game, it's a good world. I do like the music, I like the mechanics. It's just a fun game. And the next game is Splatoon 2. Now, I loved Splatoon 1, but it was for the Wii U, and the online community wasn't super big yet. But Splatoon 2 is just fantastic. It's gigantic. It's a really complex game. You wouldn't think so because it's kind of cartoony, but it is surprisingly very intricate. And it's a game that I love, and I can't stop playing it. Of all the games though, this game here probably pisses me off more than any video game out there. Even of all the Souls games, I get more pissed off at Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 also has a lot to offer. There is a single player mode, which is okay, but it's not the reason that anyone would play Splatoon. There's tons of different multiplayer options. There's ranked matches, there's casual matches, you can hook up with your friends. There's also a mode called Salmon Run, which is kind of like a horde mode where you and 3 other people team up to fight the computer. It's just a really fun game, and I still can't stop playing Splatoon 2. And the final game that I could not stop playing is Elden Ring. Now, when this game came out, I was blown away. I thought graphically it was beautiful. I loved how big the world was. I loved the sad, somber music. Mechanically, I thought this game was brilliant. And it was just fun to explore and find things and level up. It's a fantastic game. Within the span of, I would say, 2 weeks after it came out, I put over 100 hours into Elden Ring. Now, I'm not one of these people who has nothing to do and can just play video games all day, but I work 40 hours a week. I have a girlfriend. Like, there's a lot of my time gets spent doing other things, but somehow I managed to cram in over 100 hours within 2 weeks of just playing Elden Ring. And it even got to the point where I got burnt out with Elden Ring. Like, I was so done playing the game. I was so done with it, yet I couldn't stop playing it. I was just playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it, getting angry at it. And Elden Ring, it's tough. It's a very tough game, and there were a few times that I'd fly off the handle in a fit of gamer rage. Still doesn't piss me off as much as Splatoon 2, believe it or not. Splatoon 2 can really just get under my skin. But Elden Ring, fantastic game. I couldn't stop playing it. I beat it, so I'm on a New Game Plus mode, but once I hit the New Game Plus, once I beat it, basically, was when I stopped. I'm like, okay, I have to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to end up doing another 130 hours into this game, so Elden Ring, fantastic game. It's not really a multiplayer game. It is, like, you can summon other players, which I actually found to always be a bad idea. If I was ever stuck on a boss, I would summon a player, and what would happen is the boss gets more health to kind of try to balance that out, but my other player would always be garbage and die right away. So I found that summoning other players was actually never the best option. Mind you, I only played it within the first few weeks that it came out. Maybe the community is bigger now, I don't know, but it is a multiplayer game technically, but I did not play it with other people. So those are 5 games that I just could not stop playing. Even though I was hooked on these games, I still don't like them as much as retro games. Oblivion is a great example. I mean, I was hooked on Oblivion. I was thinking about it every day. I would come home from school every day and play Oblivion. Now that was back then. Nowadays, I have no interest in playing Oblivion ever again. But I will play A Link to the Past, Chrono Trigger, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, Shadowrun, Super Mario World. I'll play those games every single year. And it's because retro games they're different, right? They're like books. You pick one up, you play it, you enjoy it, and when you finish it, you put it back on the shelf and you reflect on how much fun you had, and you look forward to playing it again one day. Modern games could be the same, but they're just not, at least not for me. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do just want to give a special thanks to the Retro Rivals. Those guys are fantastic. They're really cool people. Definitely check out their channel. I'll have a link below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.